Hello, this is Gary with Gabbin with Gary. Thank you so much for coming back for part 3 of Animal Rescue Maruipol with Julia Vrillaund and Claudia Panzer. We greatly appreciate you checking out this video. As always, please like and subscribe and share. And I hope everyone has a great day. And just again, thank you so much for checking out part 3.
Also depends on which person you meet. You know, one day that can be a kind person. He will say, okay, go. Another day it will be a person who will take all your things away and will leave you alive. And the third day, you don't know if you maybe meet a soldier with a gun who doesn't think you should stay alive after this. People are scared.
Wow.
They're the only help they get is from some Russian animal supporters, but there are so few people and it's a completely different story. And you know, the people just also like private people who organize and do something, but it's just only few cats and dogs that get that. There are no organizations. What they do is that they let some Russian vets come in from time to time, at least to help people with vaccination and all, but they solve it differently. For example, when the evil went to Mariupol recently, nobody knew it, but we already felt something was going on because there were many dogs poisoned and just shot. And we thought, why is that? Because every day, like the volunteers, they try and feed them. People in Mariupol, they feed them. They just don't leave them alone in the street, die like that in the street. They try and they feed them and they prepare human food for them. And just one day, there were many dead animals. And in 2 days, he came. So we knew why they just killed them to show them this great picture that Mariupol is nice and clean and there are no stray animals. I know that every time I see an animal in the street there, I know it's like it's either we take this animal and evacuate it, or it doesn't have long to live, just like 1 month, 2 months, and they disappear. And there are a lot of breed animals because no stray animals. You know, when people left, they left all the animals. You can see so many huskies there, so many Scottish and British cats, and they are not adapted to live in the streets. They don't know how. So many cats are being eaten by dogs. Well, it's a chaos there. It's very sad and impossible. And it's very sad that, you know, the rest of the world doesn't know about this. There's much help coming to other parts of Ukraine, but there, just because it's not shown on TV, people tend to forget. And it's not on TV because the Russians will not publish anything. Who wants this reality? Russians are they're broadcasting different realities. They build their 3 or 4 houses. They film them from all the sides. And they're like presented as if they restored Mariupol. But I was online with them all the time. People say there is nothing. And even if they build those houses, the apartments are not for them. So they will not show the reality, but reality is there. And these
Are you
animals,
able to get do you ever get videos?
I do, right? I do.
From Maruipol?
One video that you have of the...
No, nothing. I just videos of the destroyed buildings and of the streets. And of this, now there are many places that used to be houses or people's private houses. It's just covered in grass or snow or whatever. It's destroyed. One of our volunteers, when everything happened and many people left Mariupol, so they let them occupy their houses. Like for the locals, they say, okay, take my house, take care of it, just live there. But now many people are coming back still, and they just tell them go away, and they have nowhere to go with all their animals. So one of our volunteers, she was just begging, I don't know if she needed $400 just to build a fence around a destroyed house. She says, I don't care if I don't have windows, I don't care if I don't have a ceiling. I'm very worried for my animals not to run away. She has like maybe 10 to 15 animals. She only needed to build a fence around this destroyed house. But really, it's heartbreaking, all this. And
very
so
heartbreaking.
Don't know this because they don't see it.
It's
thing is on my Mariupol group. Unfortunately, it's in Russian, the name, but maybe I should. I post everything, and my group on Facebook, it has 3,000 people already. It's only dedicated to Mariupol, to the animals and all. And it's like the bigger group for all Ukraine, but this one is very particular and specific. We have maybe 8-10 volunteer girls there that they're from the very beginning. many volunteers died, and some disappeared, and they still keep looking for them because they don't know if they're dead or if they went somewhere, because just many people were disappearing. There are a lot of tombs and everything. Maybe we know that more than 80,000 people were killed in Mariupol, like in just 1 month. So, and
if people are missing, they could send me their information as well. I could talk to them and try to help them find their loved ones or whatnot. I've been doing that as well. I've been trying to help some soldiers out in Bakhmut. So whatever I can do for you guys, believe me, I will jump through hoops to help you guys, because that's what people have to do. When you sign up for a 5013C, you're going to end up being the head person. You're not going to be able to get Julia on there because she's in France. So it's just going to be basically you running it.
I'll find out.
I have Cynthia. Remember, Claudia? We have Cynthia,
yes.
in the. Maybe she will want to. I mean,
anybody in the US can be part of it.
Or maybe after this broadcast, maybe there will be other US people who will love to join us and just help us out. And
I pray. I do believe that people like to help animals.
People, when you see
I cut you off.
How exciting it is when you see these animals live, exiting this occupied territory and then entering Europe, and you see that they are now free, that they will be taken care of, they will be loved. I have so many nice pictures of their new families, how happy they are. They become playful, they become like puppies and kittens. Those animals who were depressed, they're depressed there, and you think like, are they sick? Are they like old? No, they change completely, and it is worth it.
You have a better chance of collecting money for animals here than you will for people. So
either find us and we need to find them and just do it together. If it will work.
Friends here who know how to do a registered charity.
It's really easy. Like I said, I registered myself through the bank, so it was no problem.
And did
really,
they give you?
Did it for free.
I'll talk to them. I have a good bank.
And then
what did you say, Julie?
The PayPal account to that. We already even have a name for the charity that Cynthia created. So we even have a logo.
Oh, and my bank was a credit union that did it.
Yeah, I have here in Colorado, we have First Bank. They have been super helpful in all sorts of business adventures.
So I'm sure that they would help you with that. Mm-hmm. So like I said, I think that here in America, you could definitely get money for animals. You'll get an outpouring of help, but you really have to come up with a good way to get things circulated. It will bring a lot of money in, but you don't know yet until you try.
Yeah. No, I'll see what. Not just to advertise a Facebook page, but maybe a success story or something, or
absolutely.
Or maybe an animal in need right now.
Exactly. People out here though are funny. We have a TV commercial for the SPCA, I think it is, that shows all the bad animals, and they're hurt, but that's all made up, and we all know that that's made up, and people they turn the channel. They don't want to watch it. They just turn the channel. So you can't make it so bad.
I signed up 10 years ago after seeing that commercial.
So it does work.
It stays with you. You don't want to see it, but after you think of it the whole day, right?
Right.
And what is great about our idea that we are like real people, and I don't want this to be a huge charity or something, because here in France, before everything started, my family and I, we were donating a lot to local like famous associations. We're like with the Brigitte Bardot one, and we have 30 Millions d'Amis. They're famous. They have this network and coverage all over France. But when it came to a point when I needed help for some animal who were abused, for example, and I contact them, and I say, yeah, I have been supporting you for years, and now there is this poor animals at somebody's house. They are suffering. Can you please intervene? They can do literally nothing. they send you to the legal office, they find many excuses, and so they did nothing. 2 times I contacted them when I saw the animal abuse, and they never came to save them. But they keep sending me every month the promotional materials. I receive pens, I receive stickers. They have money for that. It's nothing that I want us to be. No, we don't need all these promotional materials, like, you know, t-shirts and stuff. I really want that we receive an amount, and then people can even say this amount should go to this dog, and I want this dog just delivered there. Because I know I can organize this, because I speak the language, I have my contacts already, I know the drivers, I know all the logistics, I have fosters halfway, because sometimes you cannot just go from Mariupol to it's like a 5 days road. You need to make stops, and I have all of this. I have all these contacts, so I'm very specific. Yeah, I don't need anything like for to become famous or to get more money for promotional materials, just for specific rescues, and as fast as possible, to get these animals as fast as possible out of there, because they don't have much time.
You know who we should try to contact, maybe on the British side? You know this guy, he's a comedian, his name is Ricky Gervais. I don't know exactly how to pronounce him. He's in the US, he's big into animals, animal rescue, and there's some posts, some of his posts on Facebook actually, and I've seen them come across. Not exactly sure on which organization he posts, but maybe he would be a really good one. I'm just thinking of any American celebrities.
That's what I was saying. Well, that's what I was saying, Claudia, is that we have to target the people that are, you know, affluent here. And I would imagine that if we target enough, if you target enough people, that they would end up, the more you put in, the more drips of people that you put into a pipe, the more it comes out the other end. So you have to keep on stuffing it to get a little drop on the other end out. And that's what has to be done. You got to send out lots of emails to a lot of rich people. And I would start with every celebrity that you can get a hold of, including their manager, because that's probably mostly you're going to get is manager people. And I would also reach out to any government that you worked with. There's a great chance that those places would help you as well. Have you reached out to them?
The government.
You know, you worked in the different phases of the embassies, you said, and stuff like that. Maybe someone in those places would help you.
I worked there. Like animal welfare was never like an issue for them.
But what about now?
No, nobody ever talked about that. It was, for me, it always worked like we say in French, bouche à l'oreille. It's like mouth to the ear. It's when somebody talks to another person, and that person maybe helps himself or brings another person. This is the only thing that always worked for me. Somehow it never worked for me with big organizations or with governments or with, people are there at a different level. They care about more global things. Animals for that.
I don't know. Right now, I think that since that was before the war, I guess you worked with all them. I'm thinking that now it's a little different. Maybe. I can't tell you that. I would just imagine it's a little different, and I wouldn't be surprised if you can get help from the royals actually in the UK, because they love animals.
That's true.
Oh,
here's your celebrity, Meghan Markle. We could try.
I'm serious. All these people like animals. Anybody who loves animals will help. Even Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp loves animals. And I don't mean to bring up celebrities, but I'm just thinking people with money. And those are the people that you really have to hit up. Well, you have to hit up everybody, because $5 here, $5 there adds up.
The funny thing is, the small town that I live in, I'm like in the village, but next to us is a very small town. It's a town where Elton John lives. Nobody has ever seen him. I know that he did charity thing, but even here, I don't know how to get in touch with him. Nobody has ever saw him. So Elton John, if you hear me, I'm your neighbor.
That's right. But I bet you he has a contact via a manager that you can get a hold of. And they usually, the managers are pretty good about getting the information to their clients. So maybe that's the way to go. I'm just guessing here. I'm just trying to help.
Yeah, it's an idea. I never tried, but it can be an idea.
I'm just thinking. It doesn't hurt to make an email and send it to everybody at one time. You know, you just have to collect the emails.
I know.
Right.
Yeah. I was just looking online if there's any manager to Meghan Markle, for example, or
already on it.
Or even Harry. You know, he was really big into animals. Even in Afghanistan, he had a dog that he was taking care of.
Leonardo,
so,
great.
right. But those are my suggestions to get help. I don't know of any other help I can think of besides reaching out to everybody as possible. You know, even if you had to buy a mailing list for real cheap, you may be able to. I don't know how much a mailing list would even cost. I've never looked at it, but maybe that's even a thought, you know, because the more people that see your information, the more people that will give you $1 or $2. What do you think?
yes, I don't know how easy.
Nothing's easy.
To find some type of relevant information, but that's a good idea.
I wish I had more.
Oh, how practical it is, how successful it would be. But
he already was one of the volunteers to make like showcases, but it was about asking some companies, some small companies in our cities if they would like to help. But you know, every time it's like it can be one-time targeted aid, and it's not permanent. We had this idea.
There's a lot of companies here that do very well. Maybe any animal company. Have you looked into? There's West Coast Toys out of Bozeman. They may be able to help you a whole bunch too, Claudia.
Or BarkBox.
BarkBox, yeah, that's Chewy.
Oh,
but
is it?
That's Chewy. Yeah, I would totally look into the West Coast Toys. They make everything recycled, but they give a lot of money to organizations, and I would believe that they would help you. And they're out of Bozeman.
Oh, really? I could just Googled West Coast Toys.
Bozeman.
Claudia, she's great at communication. I remember when they arrived, like, that was a minor issue. Remember, Claudia? When they
I have
arrived,
one of the toys right here. Hold on one second.
Is it West Paw? Not West Coast, but West Paw.
I'm on my phone.
West Paw. West Paw.
Oh, West Paw. Okay, got it. Right, I found those.
And they helped me when I was running my organization. They just may help you. I would imagine that they would, especially if you supply them with enough info.
Okay, I'll reach out.
And also Chewy, like you said, the BarkBox people. Chewy's been donating a lot, but they're kind of what should I say? They're kind of cold a little bit. I don't think they're going to help you too much. You really need to contact the smaller places.
Okay, sounds good. I can reach out.
Because all the big places, they don't like to give, but the small places are still trying to build a name. So that will help them build a name for helping whatever.
Okay.
So what else could we do to make it better? Do you want to tell us anything else? Do we need to know anything else? Do you have an address to send for whatnot? Do you have links to anything that you could send me?
So we have our next rescue now, the last week of April. It's now 7 animals from Mariupol. It's for my project. So we raised kind of all the amount we need. But maybe there are people who want to adopt too, because this time they will be going to a shelter. So far, it's also a problem to find people who want to adopt.
So, would you be able to get fosters instead, and then just keep money going to the fosters for their food and stuff?
Yeah, it's possible, but it's possible if we had this money. So far we raised money only to cover the roads, to cover the transport. So if anyone wants, I don't know how people can find me.
My well, we're gonna post your Facebook page and everything else like that in the description, so they're able to find you.
And then Claudia, she has some separate dogs she wanted to help in the west of Ukraine, and
hey, no,
because from different people.
No,
it's not as like I consider Julia now a grassroots organization. In the western part in Lviv, it's not as organized. There's not one person who runs it as efficiently as Julia does, but there are some little grassroots efforts in Lviv, for example, and there's a group of good people there too. And so I'm trying to help those people too in the western part. It's easier because you can bring the animals easily from Ukraine to Poland. Poland.
Those are like quite on the border, so the only issue is raising money, and then we organize this document. The rules are different there, because when you bring from Ukraine, different rules, but when you bring from Mariupol, they have to follow Russian rules, and the documents are different. So it's like two different types of work that we do.
Yeah.
But now Claudia, she knows what documents are needed, because there are really procedures. Even the day before you leave the country, you have to have this special certificate, just 1 to 3 days before, and where you mention which border you will take. Well, it's a lot of organizational work too. So it's good when people are doing this regularly, and then we can even consult other people how to do it.
And I'm sorry, you probably told me, are you still able to retrieve animals out of Mariupol?
Yes, sure. Right. So what we are doing. So as I said, our next rescue is last week of April. It will be 7 animals going. There will be 2 disabled animals, a cat and a dog, and 5 more dogs that were going to be poisoned and killed. So one of our projects was to help the big dogs of Mariupol, because there are a lot of German shepherds and the Tibetan Mastiff, huge dogs that are left without owners, and it's very difficult for them to survive. These are not small dogs that can just dig in garbage and eat something. They need food. So what they do, they go to markets where people sell meat and everything in the street, and those people, they just hit them with an axe. Among the 16th animals that we had, remember, Claudia, there was this dog with a huge wound, like
it's terrible.
As deep as his bone. He was hit with an axe. Just people just try to scare him off and just go away, don't steal our food. So as I say, we do have possibility to take animals out of Mariupol. It's very complicated if they have to go half around the world, but we do it. But it was 1 by 1, and then we're 16. Now there will be 7. We do by small groups. But as I said,
do you have to pay?
Like what person is there? But what is good that as I said, our driver is a local driver who knows everything in Mariupol, so they know better. We trust them. They know how to go out. So they live there.
That's what I was saying. If they can go out, can they come back in with food?
No, it's exactly what I said. They can't. The Russians will never let them.
They can get out with the animals, but they can't sneak anything in.
No,
nobody leaving animals. Everybody cares about goods coming in. The Russians,
right.
I mean.
Yes, the Russians say they only buy in Russia.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so I was a little confused for a second.
Well, the whole transport for one animal is 600 to 800 euros, as I said. The paperwork out of it is cheaper.
No, but that's to go to Poland. But do you have to pay the occupiers in Mariupol to get the animals out?
We only pay the documents there. So they have to have these documents to cross the border to Latvia or to Estonia.
And how much are the documents for the animals?
So it can vary from 45 to 90 euros.
Okay, so about $110 approximately US dollars.
Exactly the same with Ukraine too, approximately for the papers, right, Claudia? For the titers, for the
It's about $100 for the document. I would say between it that so on the in Lviv, going to Poland, there were the titers were kind of pricey, and it depended how fast you run the titers. If you do the 2-week titer, it's like $50. If you run the 3-day titer, it's $100 or 100 euros, ballpark range. And but the rules just changed again, and I think it's a little bit easier now. But about, I would say, $100.
And what exactly do you do, Claudia, for the organization?
I just joined about a month or two ago, and I try to do networking. I try to help with the donations. I try to raise donations over here in the US amongst my friends and patients, actually.
and they were
Awesome.
Claudia is
That's
great.
awesome.
If you need somebody speaking German in the middle of the night, you say, Claudia, can you call shelter? They're not opening doors. It's like, yeah, I want it. And it works. I remember.
That's funny. I've had to reach out to many people because I need interpreters, so I get it.
I just try whatever I can, facilitate anything, and try to raise money.
Thank you again for listening to part 3 of the Animal Rescue Maruipol. We greatly appreciate your time. As always, please subscribe to my channel. Please contribute what you can. And thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this series and come back for more. Talk to you soon.